Welcome to episode 1 of Getting Mental with Dr. Dean. I am your host, Dr. Christian Dean, and today we're going to talk about cognitive behavioral therapy and just some thoughts about thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Quick disclaimer here, this is for information and educational purposes only. I'm not your counselor or therapist. If you are in a mental health crisis, please call 988 or 911 or go to your nearest emergency room. Thank you for joining me. I'm Dr. Christian Dean, and again, we're going to talk about cognitive behavioral therapy and just some overall some thoughts about how thoughts influence feelings, how our feelings influence behaviors. So we're going to go through a little journey here, and I hope you enjoy it. So what is cognitive behavioral therapy? Let's find out. So this is a therapeutic approach often used by many different mental health professionals. It helps individuals to adjust their thinking patterns. And there's a reason for this. So we're going to do a little exercise here. Let's say your employer, teacher, professor, or parent, somebody sends you an email or text that states, please call me when you get a chance. Think about how you would feel, what your thoughts would be that would lead you to feel that way, and what would you do in response to that. And remember to write these down or pause to reflect on them to some degree, just something you can reference back later on. Now, after your initial instinctual reaction, I want you to think about what other possible reasons there may be that you received that email or text with that particular wording, and what thoughts come to mind. Now, if that was your first thought, how would you feel? And what would you do? And remember to write those down. One more time here, last time, what is yet another possible reason that you received that email or text with that wording? If that was your first thought, how would you feel? And what would you have done? And remember again to write down your answers. So what's the purpose here of this exercise? Hopefully you notice that different thoughts tended to generate different emotions, which generated often different behavioral reactions. And we're going to go over some different examples here to highlight this. So looking at this scenario again, let's say, again, I get this text or email says, please call me when you get a chance. Let's say it's from my boss. So I get this text, this email from my boss, please call me when you get a chance. And let's say my first thought was my boss wants to let me know that they will be firing me. I'd probably feel worried or anxious. And then I'd probably either start looking for another job or calling my significant other to discuss the email and how I'm worried about or anxious about my job. Now, if instead I thought my boss wants to congratulate me on a job well done, then I would probably feel proud or excited. And I might rush over and give them a call as fast as possible, right? Because if I'm feeling excited, that's potentially how I would behave. Now, if I thought my boss wants to gossip about some of the other workers, right? Not that my boss or any of my bosses have ever done that, but just as an example, I might feel disappointed, or maybe I'm excited. Maybe I like gossiping too, right? But let's say I was disappointed. I might wait to the very end of the day to give them a call. So the purpose here is that the way I think influences the way I feel, and that influences the way I behave. Right? So thoughts influence feelings, which then influence behaviors. And none of this is right or wrong per se, but there's often healthier ways of thinking that can influence maybe healthier ways of feeling or more positive emotional reactions, I should say. So one approach to changing how we feel does include working on identifying and changing how we think about ourselves, how we think about others, and just about life in general. So an invitation to just write down or journal your thoughts, what tends to come up for you, and to recognize as a result of those any unpleasant emotional reactions. And keep that information ready for the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.